from Capitol Hill. Senator, thank you very much.
Very good to be with you, Shep.
What are we getting accomplished here?
Not much that I can tell. I think
here's what Politico said today, Senator. By the lunch break, I'm quoting from Politico.com. By the lunch break, it was growing clearer that the pre-summit pessimism on both sides of the political aisle, that there was little or no hope of grand partisan compromise, was absolutely on target. In fact, both sides spent the bulk of the 3 hours of the session trying to score tactical points, rarely veering from their scripts and extending a hand to the other side. I don't know if the people see anything bipartisan about any of this. It just feels like a bunch of politicians getting their talking points in.
I think the only way it could have been bipartisan and actually meaningful and constructive is if they had taken all the previous talking points in the previous bill and set it aside and started over and say, okay, let's start from scratch.
Why do Republicans want to throw this out and start over, Senator? Why do they want to do that? Nobody buys that. Everybody sees that as, here's how we win. Our side wins if we get you to throw your thing out, even though you're the majority. The majority goes, we win if we get you to come along with us. And you're not going to come along with them any more than they're going to throw their thing out. So it seems silly to talk about it.
Well, it's not just Republicans, though, Shep. It's also the American people.
I said both sides.
Well, I'm not saying that's. I know you said both sides, but what I want to say too, though, is that the American people clearly have rejected this bill in its current form, and
like
that's
the
where
American people know what's in this bill.
When you start on that foundation, well, that's part of the problem. It's 2,700 pages long. How do most people, including members of Congress, get acquainted with something that's that complicated? I think this could have been a lot easier, but the way you make it a lot easier is you sit down and say, okay, what are the things that we can agree upon? And if you want bipartisan support for this, that's what it's going to take, because Republicans are not going to buy into a bill that costs $2.5 trillion, that raises taxes on small businesses and individuals, that cuts Medicare, and at the end of the day, raises premiums for most Americans. I mean, the one thing that the president can't get away from.
That's not true, Senator.
Sure does.
That is not true.
No.
That's not what the CBO said. I know your talking points. I know the other side's talking points. But can't we just say, look, we got to do something in this country. This is going to bankrupt us. And you people up there who are supposed to be representing us are making it perfectly clear. You're going to sit in your corners with your own talking points, and we're going to lose. We're going to get nothing, and it's clear we're not. So when this is over, the president will be able to say, I tried, we couldn't get anything done. Here comes reconciliation, 51 votes, and away we go. Then we got a real mess on our hands, and everybody just mad at everybody else as the country falls apart. It just doesn't seem fair.
Well, if that bill becomes law, that would be true. It would be a real mess, and that's what we're trying to avoid. But remember one thing. I mean, we can debate whether or not which people are going to see higher premiums, which ones are not. But the CBO also said, as did the actuary for the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, that health care costs would go up, not down. I mean, it's clear. The cost curve gets bent up. And the amount of money that we spend in this country on health care as a percentage of our gross domestic product increases from about 17% today to 21% under the bill. We spend more on health care. The point of this is
as if it's not going to go up without the bill. Senator, it's going to go up without the bill, and you know it. The CBO says that. It's going up.
It's going to go up, but what CBO said was it's going to go up more if the bill passes. If we do nothing, the increases would be less than they will be under this legislation. That's the point we've been trying to make all along, and that's what the Congressional Budget Office and the actuary for the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services and most of the outside experts are saying about this. And that's why fundamentally we are not going to be part of something that drives health care costs even higher than they otherwise would be if Congress did nothing. That's not what the American people are asking for, and that's why I think you see this universal rejection of this plan.
Senator John Thune, Republican of South Dakota. It's great of you to be here. Thank you. Go enjoy the rest of this thing with all the rest of us.